When I called her before my flight, her phone went to voicemail. With no other options, I contacted our twin girls at college, Lauren and Natalie, and explained the situation, asking them to check on their mother and make sure she was okay. I texted Rachel before takeoff and again when I arrived 10 hours later, but there was no response. I knew she was upset, so I figured I'd have to apologize profusely to regain her trust. When I arrived in Germany and settled into my hotel, I called my CEO for an update, only to find out that the meeting had been canceled due to the death of the other firm's CEO's family. I expressed my concern and the urgency of hearing back from them, and they understood and conveyed their love for me. I immediately called the airlines and booked a direct flight to Chicago O'Hare, which is only 30 minutes from the reception venue. Because the wedding celebration was scheduled to begin at 7 p.m., I calculated that I would be there by 9 p.m. to be a supportive husband. I thought this gesture would make her happy. When I arrived at the reception hall shortly after 9 p.m., the party was already in full swing, with loud music, dancing, and plenty of beverages, with many attendees clearly having a good time and some drinking a little too much. I was happy to be there and looking forward to seeing my wife again. I walked to the bar, ordered a double bourbon, and began looking around for Rachel, who was 5 years older than me and had recently divorced when we first met. Eric Adams was completing his residency at Mercy Hospital when their marriage ended due to his infidelity with a nurse from his profession. Rachel had thrown him out, heartbroken by his dishonesty, and she had envisioned a life full of children and joy, but her ex-husband's infidelity dashed those hopes. The divorce impacted her heart, both emotionally and financially, because medical residents make little money. When Rachel and I first met, it felt like a storybook romance. Despite her past pain and misery, I saw in her a wonderful treasure. Rachel began working as a waitress to pay her bills, and faced with difficult circumstances, she gained a thorough understanding of Megan's situation. Rachel and I spent 19 wonderful years raising our twin daughters together, and she appreciated my open and honest approach to our relationship, which gave her a sense of security. Her attractiveness drew me in right away, but it was her love and compassion that ultimately won me over. I assisted her in overcoming her obstacles and transforming her life for the better. Our marriage was built on trust, loyalty, and dedication, which kept us together until the unexpected incident at the wedding. I praised her for having the courage to leave her cheating husband, as well as her resilience in dealing with that terrible moment. Our twin daughters, Lauren and Natalie, were thriving in college, full of life and optimistic about their futures. At 44, Rachel was still stunningly beautiful, and I, 5 years her junior, was in peak physical condition thanks to my dedication to fitness and jogging. At 39, I felt like I was at the pinnacle of my life. We had a happy, loving family, and a marriage that appeared unshakable, until I noticed Rachel at the wedding, sitting alone with her ex-husband, Eric. I knew Eric was close to the bride Megan, but his attendance at the wedding, especially without his wife, surprised me. I was tired from my travels and fascinated by what I was seeing. I paused to observe them intently, noting how friendly they appeared together, regardless of their history, and decided to step back for a moment to get a better idea of how they were engaging. It wasn't long before I felt like my world was falling apart, and I was about to intervene and disrupt their intimate moment when she abruptly rose, took his hand, and led him to the dance floor. Rachel looked stunning in her tailored ivory gown, and I hoped this was just a dance, but her confidence as they proceeded through numerous slow songs took me by surprise. I sat back, nursing my drink, and watched how things progressed. Rachel had clearly been drinking, as evidenced by her flirtatious demeanor, which I knew could happen. Despite the fact that I was fully aware that she was my wife, I felt both ashamed and outraged when she openly kissed another man, especially in front of her friends. She was known to be more affectionate and playful with me after a few drinks, as was her habit. Watching my wife share private moments, as well as seeing him touch her inappropriately and exchange kisses with her, left me stunned and enraged. Just as I was about to intervene and stop it, they returned to a table off to the side and began kissing as if they were on honeymoon. I could see his hands on her chest and her hand under the table, and just as I was about to approach them, I realized my marriage was over. I remembered what my father used to say. Hey guys, respect yourself. Do not put up with being treated poorly. So, I resolved to do something, but I remained calm. I could have made a big deal, ruined the ideal wedding, stopped them, and made sure it didn't go any further. But then I figured, if she wants him, she can have him. She isn't mine anymore. I got out my phone, zoomed in, and recorded several close-up photos and a brief video, then messaged her. "Guess what, sweetheart? My meeting was rescheduled, and I returned early. It appears that you are in good hands tonight, and I'll go back home. I'm guessing you'll be spending the night with Dr. Eric. I got it now. Why have you been avoiding my calls and texts? Have a blast, and here's to our marriage ending. I'll be gone by the time you get back tomorrow." I hit send and waited calmly to see if she received the message while watching her. Her phone lit up. As soon as I saw Rachel's reaction to my message, I left the gathering for my car. She must have spooked when she saw me leave, but I got outside before she could catch up, and I heard her yell, "David, please wait." I just gave her a chilly look, shook my head, got into my car, and drove away before she caught up. My phone started ringing, but I was too upset to answer. If she decided to return to her ex, it was obvious that we were done. After capturing them together, we were done. It's been 22 years since I left that cheater, and she still returns to him at the first chance. "David, please come back. I need to explain. I love you. Please come back." "Damn it, David, it's not as you think. I love you." But after 2 days of long flights, no calls or texts, her frigid demeanor, and seeing her with Eric, I didn't want to hear her out. I was outraged, and refused to deal with her or her reasons. After ignoring 20 calls and texts, I finally paused, and returned one text message, which read, "Forget you. I'm doing an amazing job. My children are going to college, and everything is paid for. I am free to do what I choose. I still have enough youth to begin again." After driving for 4 hours of my 7-hour drive back to Nashville, I stopped at a diner for dinner and a quick nap in the car, before continuing my journey home. While eating my eggs and bacon, I decided to share my feelings with the world. At the time, Facebook was the most popular social networking platform where people exchanged updates about their lives. Between bites, I changed my Facebook status from happily married to single and available, and then I shared 2 photos of Rachel and Eric kissing passionately at the wedding. In the second photo, his hand is clearly on her breast, and I commented below that Rachel was upgrading and rejoining with her ex-husband, while I was returning to the dating scene. The fact that she did it for an old man who had already cheated on her was perplexing, but it was the truth to me. I was moving on without her. Her ex-husband Eric was nearly 50 years old, balding, overweight, and frankly not an upgrade in any way. Perhaps she preferred a doctor to an accountant. It hurt a lot. I was in greater pain than I could ever remember. I was sad and outraged, but it also seemed ludicrous. She is ending a 19-year marriage with an elderly man who cheated on her over 20 years ago. Forget her, forget him. They are made for each other. I'm not the type to tolerate such disrespect. Some may think it was just a kiss and some caressing, and it's not worth leaving her. After a late breakfast and a 2-hour nap in the van, I resumed driving and arrived at my driveway around 7 a.m. When I turned on my phone, it began sifting through a slew of notifications. In my opinion, either my girlfriend is committed to me, or she has the freedom to be with someone else. We all make our own choices. There were so many that I didn't believe they'd stop. There had to be at least 100 messages from her, her parents, her sister, and friends. Within 5 minutes of turning on the phone, it began ringing, and I recognized it was Rachel. I wondered if she slept last night or spent it with Eric, but it didn't matter. "David, I had no indication she was dissatisfied with our marriage, but adultery was the final blow to our happy existence. I had a good relationship with her family, so when they called me that morning, I answered and told her father what had happened. I can't take her contempt in front of people we know. She clearly still has feelings for that jerk, and now she can be with him. I intend to find a woman who will appreciate what I bring to the table and remain loyal. I don't have any other options, so I'll move out today, and immediately put the house up for sale tomorrow morning. I'll contact a lawyer to begin the divorce proceedings, and she can stay here until the house is sold. Call me old-fashioned, but I refuse to live with a lady who wants someone else. She made her decision, but I don't think it was wise." Richard arrived more than an hour later, pleading with me to wait and talk to her before taking any drastic action. But when he begged me to give her a chance to explain, I referred to the photo of them, 2 of them openly fondling each other at the wedding. I couldn't stand it, especially with her ex. Her father was upset with her behavior and my hasty decision-making. As I entered our home, tears welled up as I realized that our once happy home had become an empty shell of our marriage. As the accountant, I chose to refinance the house at its full value, resulting in approximately $500,000 in equity, and I immediately established $200,000